Hey guys, this is Dan Seifert from MobileBurn.com. Today we're taking a look at the HTC EvoView 4G tablet for Sprint. Now this is the Sprint version of the HTC Flyer tablet that came out a couple weeks ago. And it's virtually the same thing, save for the color and a couple of wireless radios in there. We'll take a quick tour of it and see what's going on. So we've got the 7-inch tablet here. Virtually, like I said, the same thing. You got a 7-inch screen. It's 1024 by 600 pixels of resolution. The front of the device has the same capacitive buttons at the bottom. You've got your home menu back buttons here, and then the special pen button, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Round top up here, you've got the front-facing 1.3 megapixel camera, and then you've got the capacitive buttons duplicated again when you turn it into landscape orientation. You got the home menu back and pen button right there. Taking a look at the back of the hardware, you can see that instead of the silver and white motif that the Wi-Fi version of the Flyer has, the Sprint model of the EvoView 4G is all black with a couple red accents. As you can see here, it's got the aluminum black cover here and some slots for speakers, for stereo speakers. Plastic piece here, the same plastic cover that is on the Wi-Fi version, and the 5 megapixel camera. The plastic cover is just as hard to get off on this version as it is on the Flyer, so we're just going to leave it on for now, but underneath there you can access the micro SD card slot. The Sprint EvoView 4G has 32 gigabytes of internal storage built into it. And then you've got your power switch here and your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. On the side, you've got the volume up and down rocker. On the bottom, you've got your micro USB charging and sync port. The other side is flush. There is nothing there, of course. So it's still the same exact hardware as we saw. It's a very solid feeling. It's a pretty heavy tablet, but for most 7-inch tablets in this size, generally, it's about the same weight or so in the hand. It's a little bit thicker than other tablets that we've seen on the market. It's certainly thicker than an iPad 2 and thicker than a BlackBerry Playbook, which we'll take a look at in a moment, about 13.2 millimeters thick. But it doesn't feel too bad in the hand because of these nice tapered edges, as you can see here. Software-wise, it's still running Android 2.3.3 with HTC's Sense interface on top of it. They're calling this HTC Sense 2.1 for tablets, but it's virtually identical to the Sense 3.0 that we've seen on phones like the HTC Sensation 4G and the new HTC Evo 3D. You've got your 7 home screens. The tablet version orients them to the left, so your first home screen is on the left here, and then you can scroll over to the right to access the other ones. You can, of course, pinch to zoom to bring in the various panels of the home screens. And then if you turn it into a landscape orientation, you can do the same. And you can backwards scroll through them as well. Now the EvoView 4G is powered by the same 1.5 gigahertz single core processor that we saw on the Flyer. It's got 1 gigabyte of RAM as well. So it's pretty fast, but you don't really notice too many hang-ups or slowdowns, even though it's not a dual core processor. Panning over here, you can see you've got switches for your different wireless connections, and there's the 4G radio connection, and you can also turn on and off the cellular connection entirely. This does have a 3G radio in it as well, so if you're not in a 4G coverage area, you can still access Sprint's 3G EVDO network. The app tray is exactly the same as we saw on the Flyer and in the Evo 3D and Sensation 4G. It's vertically paginated, which kind of drives me nuts because I can't just smoothly scroll down quickly to the bottom if I want to. I have to go through the steps, which it's kind of counterintuitive. It kind of slows me down when I'm using it, to be honest with you. Sprint hasn't put too many extra apps on here that over what we saw with the Flyer. There is a couple Sprint-specific ones. You've got Sprint Zone there, and then Sprint Mobile Wallet and Sprint Radio. But other than that, there really isn't too much. There's a Need for Speed Shift there, and the Blockbuster application. But other than that, the rest of the apps are all provided by HTC, which is a fair amount to begin with anyways. You got the HTC Watch app. Oh, excuse me. Then we also have the Telenav GPS Navigator app that Sprint has put on there. Another thing that's been driving me kind of nuts with the latest version of Sense is the notification bar. It's really nice to have the quick settings in the notification bar and the shortcuts, but in order to access them, you have to pull the bar all the way down, and that includes accessing your notifications. With many Android phones, I can pull the bar down about this way, and I can get a quick idea of what my notifications are and what they say, and then ignore it. But with the latest version of Sense, I have to pull it all the way down to see the notifications, which is kind of annoying. One thing that is different than the Flyer with this is because since it has a cellular connection, you can of course send and receive text messages on it. So it's got HTC's messaging application here, which is very good, very excellent messaging application. It's very attractive. You got your threaded messaging going on here. You can see your conversations in a threaded view. Works in landscape mode as well, and you can see you've got a 2-pane mode here. If we had more conversations, we'd be able to scroll through them and select them here and then see them on the right hand pane here. Tapping that allows us to type in a reply. Also still present is HTC's excellent mail application. So you've got your standard mail application view here when you're holding it in portrait mode, but if you switch over to landscape, you've got this dual pane mode, which is very nice and very slick. You got pinch to zoom here. Formatting is supported as well, as you can see. The browser is identical to the one that's on the Flyer, so it works in both portrait and landscape, of course. You've got a easy way to switch between open windows by these tabs at the top. And we can browse to our website here. Unfortunately, it still has the same issues that we saw on the Flyer with Flash embedding. The ads will load up, but the embedded videos will not play, unfortunately. Just give that a moment. There we go. So now it's loaded up the Flash ads there. There's an embedded YouTube video here, and it will not play, unfortunately. If I tap that, you can see it says content is not supported, even though it supports Flash. So it's kind of frustrating there that we can't play back any embedded videos. Taking a look at the HTC Evo 4G versus some of the other 7-inch tablets that are on the market. Here we've got the Samsung Galaxy Tab. This is the original Galaxy Tab, 7-inch model, and this is a Wi-Fi version. Excuse me. As you can see, they're very similar in size. It's both 7-inch screens, both the same resolution, 1024 by 600 pixels. The Galaxy Tab is technically thinner by just a hair, but in your hand, the Evo View 4G feels thinner because of the more aggressive tapering here on the sides. But otherwise, they are very similar in size, as you can see. The Evo is just slightly taller. There we go. Slightly taller at the top there. And just about the same width for both of them. Now the Evo definitely has a bit of an upgrade over the Galaxy Tab. The Galaxy Tab features a 1 gigahertz processor versus the 1.5 gigahertz processor that we see on the Evo. So the Evo is a bit more of a performer. It's a lot faster than the Galaxy Tab. And also the HTC interface is a bit more complete than the interface that Samsung has done for the Galaxy Tab. And since we're comparing 7-inch tablets, we're taking a look at the Evo 4G versus the BlackBerry Playbook. Now the Playbook definitely has more lust-worthy hardware. I guess you could say it's certainly thinner than the Evo View 4G. And they've got the same pixels and same size screen. The Playbook has the dual-core processor, so it's a little bit snappier as far as functions go and processing, opening applications, stuff like that. And the BlackBerry OS is definitely better for multitasking, but the Evo definitely takes a cake here as far as applications go and usability, just because you can do so much more with the applications that are available for the Evo 4G, or the Evo View 4G, excuse me. So in my mind, I think I would rather stick with the Evo View 4G over the BlackBerry Playbook right now, just because of there's so many more applications available to it, and so much more that you can actually do with it.